This is the ZS10 Pro. The sound is amazing and they're incredibly comfortable. There is one thing you should know before getting this though. We'll get to that in a minute. So starting with the build, the cable is 52 inches long, including the hooks. The tip is 3.5 millimeter. Now the version I have is just for headphone audio, but there is another version with a mic and a media button. Same IEM, just different wire. Overall, I find these very comfortable, even with glasses, and the ear tips aren't too squishy or too firm. My favorite part about these is the audio quality. I measured both the left and the right with my mini DSP ears. Here's what they look like averaged out. The overall clarity is excellent. I played a ton with these and listened to music. They're really satisfying. As a bass head, I really love the thump and the rumble. That was really the first thing I noticed when I put these on. You get significantly more of that sub bass when you compare it to, for example, the KZ ZS10 Pro X. Now, I don't have every KZ IEM, so I'll just simplify my comparison to that for now. Both have a little bit of a tone down mid-range, but not too recessed. The upper mids aren't too harsh, and when they are, that bothers me quite a bit. So that's really good. Now, interestingly, from what I measured, the ZS10 Pro actually has even more of that treble than the ZSN Pro X. So this didn't come through quite as jarring for me as it looks on this graph. And the logic is probably to make sure that some of that really sparkling treble doesn't get overpowered by the sub bass. As long as whatever you're listening to doesn't go overboard with the treble, the ZS10 Pro sounds fantastic. And these can be EQ'd quite a bit without distortion. You know me, I'm a bass head, so I do like a little bit of extra thump. Actually, I don't even increase the bass on here. I just decrease some of this upper mid-range a little bit and then some of the treble, even though the upper mid-range really isn't obnoxious at all, just for music. Now, for FPS games, I usually leave it about the same. Might dip the sub bass just a little bit. But I was playing Call of Duty with it stock and it sounded great. Footsteps came out very clear, but they were a little bit thumpy. So if that's not something that you're used to, then you can tone that down with some EQ. Now, about that one thing I said you should know. This has a stated impedance of 24 ohms. Now, in my experience, these are extremely sensitive. Depending on what you plug these into, you might hear the noise floor or that electronic feedback. For me, plugged straight into the motherboard, no noise. However, plugged directly into the stock PS5 controller and in my Wave XLR, even on low impedance mode, I heard some static. It's not super loud, but it is annoying. So if you don't already have a DAC, it might be useful to have. Outside of that, these are fantastic IEMs.